I think that my board member, Mr. Koppel, would like to make a statement before we go into these issues around ITEP.
Thank you. I wanted to make a little statement about this in support of the superintendent's recommendation to deny. And I just wanted to state this on the record. Besides the fact that this application fails to meet this board's very fair and objective criteria, I wanted to make just a couple of more comments. I consider myself an advocate for bringing new business to the city, and I understand the strategic use of the ITAP and TIFs, and I understand how they could be helpful to gain new business for the city. However, in my opinion, this application is not done in good faith, and I feel pretty strongly about this. The application, as I read it, claims they've spent $160 million on improvements, and they're asking us to waive future taxes. The amounts they've listed on their permits to the city of New Orleans amount to roughly $50 million. So if you can imagine, they're off, way off by $100 million. This resulted in them underpaying their permit fees to the city of New Orleans by $1.5 million. I hope that's everybody is hearing that. And I really hope that the Commerce and Industry Board is hearing what we're saying here about this, this $1.5 million in underpaid permit fees, which I consider to be an act of being done not in good faith, a kind of a bad faith, if you will. And I hope that they reject this, this ITEP as well. And I'll also say I believe the city should demand Folgers pay this $1.5 million in permit fees that they didn't pay. So on that, I would like to make a motion to approve the superintendent's recommendation for denial.
The recommendation was that the Orleans Parish School Board adopts Resolution 38-20, denying the industrial ad valorem tax exemption application submitted by the Folgers Coffee Company. Mr. Gay, if I could get you to briefly talk about the recommendation and the criteria for the record.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, board. As I stated earlier in my presentation, the board has adopted a set of criteria based on directions from the state and state agencies. These applications do not meet that criteria. And regardless of those criteria, however, the fiscal impact alone is sufficient basis to reject these applications. As noted in the resolutions, based on significantly reduced future revenues from the Minimum Foundation Program, or MFP, due to the impacts from COVID-19 pandemic, the school system cannot fiscally tolerate the additional loss of revenue that would result from the approval of these applications. Also, as I mentioned, we work hard to address the equity and funding for the students in New Orleans Public Schools, and these speak directly to the adequacy and reduced adequacy of funding for the students in New Orleans Public Schools. Thank you.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second on the floor. Unless other board members have comments, we're at roll call. Mr. Ashley?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Ms. Ellison?
Yes.
Ms. Jackson?
Yes.
Mr. Koppel?
Yes.
Mr. Marshall?
Yes.
Ms. Newell-Houston?
Yes.
That item passes. We're now at item 5.3, Resolution 39-20. It is recommended that the